Hello and welcome to Old School MTG. I'm Vyacheslav and mostly I play Old School Magic with unpowered budget decks. And today it will be a video for people who want to start play Old School Magic but not sure what's a good point to start. I already made a few videos how to start play, how to build your first deck, but now I show you just basic budget decks lists. It will be 5 decks for every of Magic color. They all will be aggressive because, you know, it's in Magic and in every other card game, to go mid-range or control you need more expensive cards. But still they will have unique color mechanics, they will have a lot of legendary cards, and even if you will not play Old School Magic regularly, this decks can be a good part of your collection. You can just, you know, show it to your friends or look at this on rainy evenings and think, wow, this game was this in '93. And also, all these decks will be budget. All of them will be cost around 300 euros. It's maybe not so budget in the point of view of pauper format, but for format in Magic like Standard or Modern, it's like a really good price for a deck that will be never rotated. And again, classic cards. So let's start, but not from first color. Instead we start from the lands, not basic lands that will be used in every of these decks. Because Old School Magic have a list of utility, really good utility lands. First one is the Manland, Mishra's Factory. It's Origin Manland. For 1 mana it becomes 2/2 and even can pump itself or pump other Mishra's Factory. This type of land was remastered a few times, like it was cards like Mutavault or other Manlands, to be honest. It's classic, it's important, it's land that gives you mana and can be a creature in the future. And you need to put 4 copies for every of your decks, especially aggressive decks. Second land is a Strip Mine. It's restricted in most of formats. In some formats not, but in most of formats it's restricted. So you need just 1 copy. It can destroy any land and also can give you a mana. So you can use it to play a spell, you can destroy a land. It's really good, especially when you will play against 3 or 4 colors decks with expensive cards. So, of course, you need 1 copy too. Your opponents will have 1 copy too, to be honest. And last land is a Maze of Is. Maybe it's not for any deck. Some people maybe even think it's for aggressive deck. It's not good, but I'm pretty sure that it's important. It's by a cost of land drop, removal. And also it can be a trick when you go to attack by your aggressive wild table, because you can untap your creature after combat, yeah, to save it or to block in the future. Last one card will be not land, but still will give you a mana. It's Soul Ring. For 1, it gives 2 mana. It's not absolutely not so expensive as any mana ramp from Power 9 list, but still really fast. Help you to play on the second turn first drop, and it's can win your games time to time. So you also need this. Also, this card can cost around 60 euros. So just take it in mind when we will talk about price of the decks. Now let's go to the colorful decks. First deck will be white, and it's White Winnie. It's a classic aggressive deck. You will play a lot of little white creatures, pump them with Pump Enchantment, Crusade, and just try to finish your opponent by attack with pumped creatures. Simple plan. You have a good removal, actually best removal on the format, Swords and Disenchants. You have a combo. It's Armageddon and Land Tax. Land Tax help you to stabilize your mana base. Even with 1 color you still need to, you know, drop lands. And after Armageddon, if you opponent play land, Land Tax will work. So you will have more lands in any case after this combination. Or you can just play little creatures, play Armageddon, and finish your opponent in the moment when he tries to stabilize. It's also work well. Most expensive cards here, as you can see, it's Swan Alliance, Swords to Plowshares, Armageddon, Land Tax, and Crusade. Actually, you can see a price of Crusade because it's slightly specific card in the modern Magic world. But as I mentioned before, this 5 cards is most expensive, and 4 of them is absolutely staple for any deck with white. Every white deck will use Swords to Plowshares. It's just base. I think every white deck in the even legacy format will use Swords to Plowshares still. And if your deck will be aggressive, you will use Swan Alliance, best white creature, and one of the best 1 mana creature in Old School Magic. And Armageddon and Land Tax, great combo that can be used in decks that build it around Armageddon and Land Tax. And also you can build a red and white combo deck with Land Tax. I will tell about this in the future when we go to red deck. On the base of White Winnie you can build Pink Winnie. It's White Winnie with red. Armageddon, green-white deck that built around Armageddon and big creatures. You can go to Land Tax combo. You can go to some white controls, white and blue or white and maybe red, it's possible too. And also best removal from this deck, like swords, balance and disenchantment, so expensive cards can be a part of the guide. And it can be more decks, I just name more popular that you can build on the base of your White Winnie. Let's go to the second color. It will be blue, and I must say it's really specific, to be honest. I must tell you that from the deck that I will show you today, 4 other colors will be successful, yeah. Versions with power will be pretty cool, and even budget versions can win regularly. You can find a lot of top finishers with these decks. But with blue, it will be less top finishers. It's not so popular. I mean mono blue. Blue is one of best colors in Magic, and especially on School Magic, but mainly in Old School Magic it's so powerful because power 9 it exists in this color. And it have not so many universal staples. So you can not reuse a lot of your cards from this deck. At the same time, it costs around 200-250 euros, not 300. And it's again simple. You put the creatures and go to attack and use a little amount of burn spells. Blue have not so many burn, yeah, it's not red, but still have. And you can use counter spells. So you can be at tempo, you can trick your opponent, prevent creatures to come into play, protect your powerful Serendipity Fruit, and finish game. Most expensive cards here is a counter spell, Psionic Blast, Serendipity Fruit, Brain Gazer, and Lord of Atlantis. First 4 is a early staples. Lord of Atlantis needed for this deck just like an extra creature, because blue have not so many effective creatures. Maybe it's even better to use artifacts instead of just basic blue creatures like Juggernaut or Suchi, but Suchi not cheap card, and it will be not enough just to use just Juggernaut. At least I think so. And other cards, as I mentioned before, the staples. Serendipity Fruit, Psionic Blast, Brain Gazer, and Counterspell mostly will be used in any deck with blue. Sometimes some decks with blue don't use Counterspell, yeah, use just powerful Serendipity Fruit, one of the best creatures in Old School Magic, and Blast as extra damage spell, and Brain Gazer to draw many cards. But mostly you will use it. For blue and white tempo deck, it's important. For blue and red, Burn, as I mentioned before, also. And it also exists a blue and green deck with all these blue cards, green buffs. I will mention about later when we talk about green deck. Let's go to next color, my favorite one, it's a black. And it's also specific, I must say, because most of black cards, it's like deeply black. They have a double cost or even triple cost. And if with other colors, when you need some new experience, yeah, need to change your gameplay, you can mix your first color with second color. With black it will be not so. Mostly you will not mix colors, but just splash second color, because you need be deep in black, you need more black lands. You need play your hippie on the first turn, yeah, by help of that ritual. You need to have it to black most of the time, and second color must be like splash. But anyway, budget have really fine options. Currently I show you the Rock. It's an aggressive black deck, really fine, but in the format when Fallen Empire is not legal, you must slightly change it, and it will be slightly expensive, because this version costs around 300 euros. But if you need to remove the Rock, Order of Ebon Hand, and Hymn to Trach, most important of the cards, you need to change them, yeah? You can put more removal, disc, drain lives, you can put Juggernaut as a creature, but you still need some extra incons like Underworld Dreams, not cheap cards, and also you need more sinkholes. As you can see, it's only 2 sinkholes in this deck. I made it to my deck cheaper, yeah. But if you can afford 4 sinkholes, do it. Sinkholes is a really great card. And this deck have not so strict and simple plan, because it's discard deck. So you can start from Dark Ritual and Hypnotic Spectre, when play Hymn to Trash in second turn, discard a lot of cards to open hand, and play the Rock, deal extra damage badges. And won when your opponent just need to do something, because if your opponent have not cards in hand, he need to play something to fight against your creatures, but if he will play something and get damage from the Rock, it will be sometimes hard choice. Most expensive cards here, as you can see, it's Dark Ritual at surprise, because in the past it was cheaper, Sinkhole, Demonic Tutor, and Hypnotic Spectre. Ritual and Hippie, it's a perfect combo. Spectre cost 3, by Ritual you can play him on the first turn. If your opponent will not answer Hippie, it's mostly you won the game, because it's really hard to lose when your opponent discard card every turn from hand by random. And also it's really hard to lose when your opponent can kill 2/2 creature, to be honest. But Heap and Dark Ritual really terrible, dangerous combo. Demonic Tutor is so expensive because it's actually a good card. Many of expensive old school Magic decks that have a good mana base splash black just for Demonic Tutor, and Mind Twist, second card, not so expensive, but discard many cards from hand. And Sinkhole, it's just not reprinted. I think it was not reprinted after the Unlimited in the old frame variant, so it's slightly expensive. And I mentioned before, yeah, hard to mix black with other colors, but you can splash it and it can be really fine Disco Troll deck, aggressive version with black and red, or that guy L with good removal. You also can use black and blue and black and green variants, but they're not so popular, I think. Black and red and black and white better, and you also can mix 3 colors and it will be like that guy Troll, really fine. And black is my favorite color, I just must tell you about it again. Next budget variant is also great, it's a mono red deck. You know, in Magic, mostly when you want to build competitive monocolored deck, it will be mono red, and Old School Magic is work too. Mono red, of course, not so good like in the pre-modern format or in some modern magic formats, but still it have a best magic burn spells and simple strategy. You put cheap creatures into play, go to attack. Because you play a lot of cheap creatures, your opponent will need to kill them all, take some damage to, you know, buy a time, and when your opponent lost like 10 lives, you can just finish him by burn spells. Bolt, Fireball, finish the game. Also that has good hate cards. In this deck you can see the Blood Moon. If your opponent use 3 colors and don't use red in the deck, Blood Moon is a game. Like first turn Hippie, but third turn Blood Moon. And Blood Moon also one of the expensive cards in this deck. As you can see, expensive cards here is Blood Moon, Ball Lightning, this 3 mana 6 damage spell, and also Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, and Black Vice. In the case with Chain Lightning, it's I can name it Price Back, because in this picture you can see calculated price from original Legend set. But Legend have also Italian version, and playset of Italian Chain Lightnings will cost like 20 euros. Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, and the Black Vice, it's absolutely important card for any red deck, and maybe even for red decks not only in Old School format. Ball Lightning, in Old School Magic, it's fine, but if you will start from budget and you will build your collection slow, if you will not buy all duels, it will be hard to put it into any other deck than not mono red, because triple red cost, it's hard to play. Yeah, but it's a staple again for pre-modern. You can move it to pre-modern burn in the future. In the future you can transform your mono red deck into red-green Erdem Burnem, already mentioned Disco Troll, red and black, blue and red Burn, and of course red and white Pink Winnie or red and white Taxi-Chagro, and actually a lot of more interesting red decks, but they are not so budget, yeah. But anyway, you have options to change your playing experience in the future. And now we're ready to go to last color, and it will be the green deck. It's a really fine deck built around little creatures. It have a lot of 1 or 2 mana creatures with stats like 1/1, 2/1, and also it have a lot of pumps like Giant Groves and Pendelhaven. And game planners put a lot of little creatures, but not just go to attack and spam. You also have a lot of effects that destroy your opponent mana sources. 4 copies of the Ice Storm, destroy a land, and 8 copies of spells that destroy artifacts. And in Old School Magic, many non-cheap, non-budget decks use not only Slow Ring but also Moxen instead of lands, so it can be really good plan to destroy opponent mana base, and when your opponent have not so many resources, it will be hard to fight against 3/1/1 creatures. This deck costs 300 euros, and most expensive cards here, it's already mentioned Pendelhaven. It's a really important card of the deck and can be reused. Ice Storm and also the Deep Shadow. Let's start from Ice Storm. You can see it's not just expensive playset, it's a really expensive playset. And it's priced for collector's edition, so it's like $40 for copy. Reason for this is like it's uncommon. Yeah, we already seen the Sinkhole, destroy a land for 2 mana. This one Ice Storm cost 3, but Sinkhole is common, it is uncommon, so less copies is printed and price is higher. But it's not so bad in this deck and in every green deck, because in every green deck you will use mana dorks, and even in budget version, mostly you will start with mana dork. In case of this deck it will be Never Elf, in case of any other 2-colored, 3-colored deck it will be Birds of Paradise, so you can still play on the second turn Ice Storm. And for many green strategies, destroy land is more important than for black, to be honest again. I'm pretty sure that you can buy this card. It's important, and other part of the deck not so expensive, so why not? But Elf of Deep Shadow is slightly different case, because this card is not really reusable. Mostly it's used in the mono-green version of this deck or Green Terror. It's again mono-green version of this deck with 3 or 4 black spells in the main deck. Again, in this picture you can see price back. It's the dark version of card. It will be, yes, expensive, but the version from Italian Dark will cost you like 30 euros per playset. And still, it's maybe not so good. If you want to go more low budget, of course, Elf of Deep Shadow will help you to play faster. You pick Ernam Djinn to play the Ice Storm on the third turn, but you can just use Whirling Dervish instead. Because black color is popular in Old School Magic, and with help of Giant Groves and Penry Haven, Dervish will be not just on 1 creature, it will be 3/3 or 4/4 soon. So not so bad change, and it will be more budget version. And big part of these good green cards you can use in other decks. Red and green Ernam Burnham have the Ernam Djinn and a lot of these green mana dorks and high quality creatures. Green and white Armageddon also need mana dorks to make Armageddon more effective. And also one deck is really based on this green mono green creatures. It's blue and green deck. It's use little creatures from this deck, also some little blue flyers like Flying Man, blue Burn, Sonic Blast, counter magic to protect creatures, and unstable mutations as an extra way to make your little creatures bigger. So mainly it's just a mono green deck with splash to blue, and it's maybe not so popular, but still fine. Of course, it can be better if you use Berserk, but this card is absolutely not budget right now. Sad times. So it was 5 decks for every color to start play Old School Magic on the budget. If you like this video, please share it to friends. We want to see more old school players, right? And also leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Have a nice day, have nice games, and bye!